and see, and to piggyback on that, it's like, I think that you had said something like earlier, like as far as like my background, whatever your background, where you grew up, but the way you grew up, right? So somebody not knowing you, right, just a black person, would see you and just say, oh, look at this white man.
Yeah.
He just like the rest of them,
Yeah.
right? Not knowing anything about how your background is, and for me, like you saying on the plane, right? I was like, because the way I am, it's like I didn't shut that door and say, like, why this white man talking to me? Right? You know what I'm saying? I wasn't like, can I move my seat?
My kids say that to me.
Oh,
Wait a minute, why are you talking to me?
So, but I allowed the door to be open to see how you were, right? And now, and that conversation, and then over time, and us talking and vibing like we're doing, I learned that my skin didn't make us any different.
And neither one was sitting there waiting to judge the other person.
Exactly.
Oh, you said it's gotcha.
Exactly.
Because I don't care who you are. I don't care, and it goes for the people sitting at this table. None of us knows as much as we think we know. None of us has lived everywhere. Mm-hmm. None of us has experienced everything. Mm-hmm. So none of us gets to put the bullet in the gun and shoot everybody else down.
Right.
Because you don't know.
Right.
So, and I'll go first on this question if you want me to. But I say this. So you just kind of referred to, oh, he's just another white guy. So what's the stereotype? We're going to get into stuff going to make people uneasy now. So as a black person, somebody says, oh, it's just another white guy. What does that mean?
Like, see, to me, it's funny because, well, not funny, but like, if you look at, like, when they say it's another white guy, I think they're putting every white person in one basket and saying they're all the same, right? Doesn't matter how you look, doesn't matter if you have hair, don't have hair, right? Doesn't matter if you got a beard, you clean cut, you wear a suit all the time, tie, whatever. No matter what, they still are like, here is another white guy. Because what they automatically think is that how the world is and how they think that particular race thinks, they think all of them think the same. So it goes back to like the cops, right? Like at the Capitol, that those cops, to me, a lot of my friends would get mad at me because I was, and you see it on Facebook, some of my friends would be like, why are you still talking to them? Why are you doing this? You can tell they're racist, you can tell this, that, but they don't know you like I know you, right? Not just saying you, but you, and I have some other friends that I went to Salisbury with that, some of the things they say sound kind of like, okay, well, maybe, but that doesn't mean that they are. That's just their thought process, what they think. And I just feel like that, because sometimes I talk to my son, it's not about like the race thing, but things in the world, like I was saying earlier to you guys that he's going to school for audio engineering, but when it comes to him like trying to get a job, he'll say, well, they all think that way, and what he's talking about is the different studios that he's trying to get into, and I try to tell him, no, they're not all the same. So you can't group, you can't say because that's an audio engineering, that's a studio, all studios think the same way. One studio may look at your resume and say, oh no, he ain't good enough, but this other one over here is going to say, oh yeah, I like him. And to me, it's the same thing like with race, but some people just put all race into one. It's even with African Americans. A lot of times, like when I worked when I first got down to the Navy Yard, it wasn't like it is now at all. It was like straight, DC, everything. And a lot of my coworkers that when we got down there, they was like, I'm not going down there. If I can't park on the base, I'm not parking here. So I was trying to tell them, but they weren't racist. They just weren't used to that environment. So I wouldn't say, to me, I wouldn't say here comes another white guy, thinking, because some thought different, some thought different ways. So, but it's an interesting comment.
But from the white side, there's definitely a segment, and again, I'm not going to say it all white people, but there's a segment of white people that if they're walking down the street and they're not used to seeing a black guy in that neighborhood and they see Lester, the lady's going to hold her purse a little bit tighter.
Right.
There's a preconception that, black people, given the opportunity, they're going to try to rob me.
Right.
They're going to try to take stuff from me. They're going to beat me up and take my car. They're going to take my purse. They're going to do that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I'll give you an example. Because I lived in a place in Key West for about 5.5 years. We had a house down there, and I bought this house because they got a really great price on it. Because it's after the whole real estate market collapsed and stuff like that, the price was way down. and it just happened to be in a gated community at a golf course, the only golf course down there.
Right.
Well, my neighbor 2 doors over was a gay couple, and the one guy, I'll just use his first name, Edwin's a black guy, and we became friends. Him and I both got served on the board of the homeowners association for a couple of years. And he's like, man, when I first moved here, he said 3 or 4 times, I'm just walking through the neighborhood, walking the dog, and people walk up to me and go, can I help you?
Right.
And so I say, oh, what's that mean?
Right.
Well, implied is, why are you here? Because you're not white.
Right.
Why are you in this
Right.
neighborhood here? We're down in the Florida Keys,
Right.
you know,
We trying to get
the
away.
mystical,
Right.
you know, Key West, in a golf course community. There's a black man here. Can I help you?
Right.
And he took a while. I think it pissed me off more, than pissed him off, to tell you the
right.
truth. Because I'm like, seriously, this shit's
Right.
still going on.
Still
Like,
in 20.
no way a black man could have a job and a career and earn money and afford to buy a house and live in your neighborhood.
Right.
And my blood's boiling sitting here thinking about it 5 years later. So are there still white people out there like that? Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're still out there. And I hope you watch this.
Yeah.
Because you're the problem.
Yeah, because
you
that's
can't see
right.
the gesture our producer's making off mic, but I wish you could see
Right.
it.
Yeah.